Hello, welcome to class. I'm Temi. I'm your fashion tutor at TCG Fashions. So today I'll be showing you how to cut your pattern, then how to lengthen your center back. Okay, so cutting it is easy. Just follow the lines and cut like so. This is what I have after cutting it out, but I don't need a front for now. I just picked one of the skirt patterns we have done before, but what I want to teach you today is applicable to both this type or the straight type, or the pencil type or the A-line type. It doesn't matter the design. I mean, either straight or A-line or pencil. So we don't need this front. This is the front piece. We don't need this for now, so I will take it out of the equation. Then I'll focus on the back. So if you remember very well, while I was teaching you how to contour the knee area, you know, I explained to you that you are snitching the knee so that you can sharpen your bum. So by the time you go in, I think on here, let me get my tape. I think on here I went in by 1 inch, right? Okay, here's 1 inch. So by the time I cut out this 1 inch, you know, and I just go ahead and use it to make a skirt, you realize that your back, this is the back line, that is the center of the back in between your two legs. You realize that that part will jump a little. Whether it is short skirt or long skirt, it won't be the same thing with the front. It will just look like the front is longer. You remember during bodies class, if you have enrolled for our bodies pattern making class, I also taught you how to while we're doing the waist shaping, I taught you how to lengthen the front, you know, so that it doesn't look like it's shorter than the back. You remember, right, that I told you to come down by either half or 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters, depending on the size you are sewing for. We used centimeter for the bodies class. So similar to what we did there is what we want to do here. So after you remember how we arrived at this, right? So like I said, you can either make it to be a line or straight. Do you still remember the class on how we just brought this one down? Okay, so whatever you want to do, you need to firstly cut out this slanted center back, the slanted center back and the snitched knee area. So we'll cut all of this out like so. Okay, so me looking at this this is the center back, this is the center back, and this is the side. So you can see that the center back and the side, they look almost the same. So that's why you must label. If you don't label and you just go ahead and cut, you think the center back is the side same, and that's not the case. Okay, so now the first thing we need to do, whenever this is the part we'll be lengthening the center back from. This is the hip line. So what we are going to do is basically to just open up this side to make this side longer a little, either with 1 inch or 1.5. If you are sewing for a slim figure, a medium figure, you can use 1 inch. If you are making out for big figures, you can use 1.5. For extra large 2. But if you are making for extra large, you will understand with time anyways. So if you are doing for this class, this is a medium class, for a medium size, I will just lengthen the CV with 1 inch. If you are sewing for, let's say, hip 42, 45, you can use 1.5. From hip 50 above, you might need to use up to 2, but I've not used more than 2 before in my years of sewing, so I'm not sure you will need more than 2. But nevertheless, if you are sewing for something is very, very big, with time and with practice of these smaller ones, you would know how to manipulate when you get to that level. So the first thing you will do is to bring this dart line. You will lengthen your dart line to the hip line. When you bring your dart line to the edge of a line, if you close this dart and you slash this line to the end of the dart, you can close the dart without affecting the shape and the fit of the skirt. Let me say that again. I've already lengthened the darts Are we together? I've lengthened the dart to this part. So if I slash from here to this point and I close my dart, this part can open up. It's just like dart manipulation during busybodies and dart manipulation class. You know, when your dart apex touches a line and you slash to that line, by the time you close the previous dart, you know, something like a new dart opens up, and we can bring that idea to this part also. So what I'm saying is I'll just take my dart to the apex, I'll take my dart leg to the apex. You see this extra allowance here, this extra space, you know, it's contour. You don't have to replace it by the side, it doesn't matter. It's only contours here to make sure that you have a very, you know, perfectly fitted outfit around your bum. Okay, so that's that about that. So the next thing I'll be doing now, okay, is to slash here. So I will just slash here like so. And I will stop at the end of the dart. Then, you know, I found a way out, easy way to fold my dart. I don't stress myself any longer. Just run your tracing wheel on one of the dart leg. Then that way it makes it easier to form a crease. You know what it means to form a crease? C-R-E-A-S-E. So just form a crease with this and just fold it over to the next dart leg like so. Can you see? This place has opened up automatically. So let's check. What I have here is not up to 1. This is about 7/8 of an inch. Somebody else can manage it. But what about if you want it to be 1.5? So how do you get this place to open up to 1.5? So let me first of all tape here. So I can tape here like so. Are we together? I can tape here like so. So if what I needed is this, if this is sufficient for me, I'll just go ahead and, you know, through my dart, then cut it out and transfer it on fabric, add my seam allowance and sew. But what happens if I need up to 1.5 inches here? I will just go on. I will go on and continue slashing till like 1/8 of an inch before the end of this line. You will not slash through, but you slash almost through. Why do we slash almost through? To ensure that to give us, you know, room to spread. If it is not almost through, it won't spread well. And I don't really like plenty dart on my garment, so I will leave this place closed. Then I will through here. Just watch me closely. Okay, so now, you know, let's assume I've not slashed through, so almost through. I have something like 7/8 of an inch here. I have something like 7/8 of an inch here. But if, for example, you want it wider, so you just take it, you know, increase it, but don't, you know, increase it in proportion to the size you are sewing for. For this person, I can't make it more than 1, so that eventually I don't have a funny center back. So, you know, 1 is okay for a medium size. For a big size, if you want it 1.5, you just extend it to 1.5. So after extending to 1.5, you just take another paper, you lay it under. Are we together? I have this. Are we together? I have this. This is too much. I'm just trying to explain. And I need 1 inch or 1.5 inches, as the case may be. So this is my 1 inch. So I'll bring this down to meet it. You can see that it's interesting, right? So I'll bring it down to meet it. Then I will tape. You can either use tape or you use gum. I love to use gum because it makes my work neater. But the only issue is when you have to remove the gum. Maybe you made a mistake and you want to adjust the pattern. It becomes almost impossible. So let's just stick to using tape. So just cut your tape, and you can get the transparent white tape. There is a particular type that is transparent. So just, you know, tape it down like so. You can see that this side is not so increased because I don't have any issue with my side. the part that I want to lengthen is the center of the back. So after doing that, I will just create a crease on here. I'll create a crease on here, then I'll bring this on top of this like so. So once I'm sure that I've done the right thing, you saw what I did now. I just use my gum. I'm sure that this is what I need. I am so sure that I'm done. So I'll just use my gum to just gum the two paper together. This way, you know, my pattern looks neater. I really don't like having plenty tips on my pattern. So I'll just, you know, don't forget I'm working with one, so I'm correct. I'll just attach it like so. If for example your pattern splits apart like mine, just gum it back together. Okay, so this is it. For this part, you can either use tape or use gum. Then you trim out this side seam also. This place looks pointed, but there's no part on the body that is pointed, so you adjust. So I can just hold this part together with my tape because I don't want it to rip apart. Okay, so this is it. This is what I have, and I've actually lengthened my center back this way. The word lengthening is to increase the length of the center back to ensure that it is in the same proportion with the center front. Then if you notice here, you realize that after closing the dart, this place is no longer balanced. So just put the paper there. You see what I did here? I rejoined my waistline. Reason being that when I was folding up my darts, I forgot to throw my darts. So this gap here would not allow my waist to match the way it should be when I'm sewing. It will just give me one funny look. So to avoid that, I would reconnect here. But if you don't want to have this issue at all, before you cut the waistline of your pattern, through your darts. The same thing I did here. Before I cut here, I folded here up, then I used my tracing wheel to trace out before cutting. You can do the same for here so that you won't have that issue. But if for example you forgot to do that and you have already cut the waistline, you can still adjust it, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I'll just take my scissors and cut like so. Okay, it looks small, it looks tiny, but it is highly significant. So this is it. We have lengthened our CB, and we are ready to go and add seam allowance, transfer it on fabric and start sewing. So don't forget, this is the side, this is the center, and this is the waist. So to your waist you can add a 0.5 inch, either you are turning with lining or you are attaching the band. This is the side, you can add 1 inch. I've already drawn the green line in the previous class, so we are leaving it at this. And this is the center back. You will add your zipper allowance of, let's say, 1 inch. Have it together, 1 inch. Then this is the hem. You can add between 1 and 1.5, depending on what you would want as your hem fold. So this brings us to the end of our center back lengthening. I want to believe that you've learned today, and you can practice this and you will get it. If at any point you need my assistance in the class, please do well to reach out to me. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next class.